Hi, thanks for watching this latest video from Somerset Libraries on Health Information Week. My name's Alex, I'm the Health and Wellbeing Lead for Somerset Libraries, and today I'm doing a video on the topic of health information for everyone. So this subject has been chosen by the guys at Health Information Week, and it's really there to cover all resources aimed at people who have extra requirements. So that could be resources in languages other than English, resources of people with learning disabilities, and resources for people with visual or hearing impairments. So you might find you want to skip to the section that's most relevant to you, which is absolutely fine. So this is the order I'm going to be doing it in. Resources in other languages to begin with, then learning disabilities, and then resources for visual and hearing impairments. So I hope you find it useful. Let's kick off with resources in other languages. So I'm going to be looking at a few main websites which I've listed here. So we've got askdoc.org.uk, COVID-19 graphics, the NHS Inform Scotland website, a story called My Hero Is You, which you can get online, and also the Royal College of Psychiatry. So let's start with askdoc.org.uk. So this is a website that is actually based in Manchester, but it's very relevant across the UK. And it aims to bring resources to their ethnic minority groups of Manchester. So this is the homepage, and you can see if you go to videos and social media and then languages, you'll see some of the languages that it provides resources in. So it's got lots of different videos and downloadable guides on a lot of different topics. A lot of it is related to COVID, but there are some other topics it covers as well. So there's some really, really interesting and useful material there. If you or your family members have a different language to English as your first language, because it's based in Manchester, most of the languages it covers are for ethnic groups that are quite popular in that area. So you can see some of the languages it's covered here. It doesn't cover every language spoken in the UK. So that is askdoc.org.uk. Okay, and then the next website I wanted to talk about was this one, COVID-19graphics.info. And what this essentially does is provides key information in health information in many, many different languages. And although it's called COVID-19graphics.info, it isn't just information about COVID. It does cover some other health topics as well. And the thing I really like about this website is, well, two things. One is how many different languages it has. It covers a huge, huge range. And two, how it presents it. It's in a really accessible way because it uses infographics. So really simple, easy to read information. So this is the homepage, and you can see here you can select which language you want to use, and I've gone with Polish. And then here, step 2, COVID-19 advice or advice for non-COVID patients. And here you can see just some of the topics that are covered by the COVID-19 advice section. So loads and loads of different things there. And then this is some of the topics covered by the non-COVID section. So a big range you can see. We've got cancer, heart attacks, domestic violence, accessing healthcare in an emergency. So really good range of topics. And as I say, most languages are available. So that is a really, really good resource. So that's COVID-19graphics.info. Okay, and the next page I wanted to show you is actually the NHS Scotland website. So the web address for that, you can see at the top, is nhsinform.scot/translations. And if you put in that web address, you get to this section where you can see there are a number of different languages covered, and it provides resources in those languages. So this doesn't include every language spoken in the UK, but it does include the ones that are most spoken. And this is great because it is NHS material, so really, really reliable. And you can see that it also includes British Sign Language, which I will come back to later on in the talk. But again, great resources there, nhsinform.scot. Okay, and this next one is actually a children's resource, and it's specifically related to COVID. So this is a story called My Hero Is You, and it's aimed at children from about the ages of 6 through to about 12, I would say. And it's a picture book that discusses with children, you know, how they can help the fight against COVID. And the way you can get to this storybook is if you just Google My Hero Is You and go with the top search, you will come here, because that's quite a long web address at the top. And the reason I wanted to mention this is they've translated this into really every language going. There's a huge range here. So really, no matter what language you speak at home, you will hopefully find a version of this. So that is called My Hero Is You. Okay, and then finally, this is specifically around mental health, but as it's such an important topic at the moment and something that's been really relevant for most of us, I wanted to mention this particular resource, which is on the Royal College of Psychiatrists website. So again, you can see the website up there, www.rcpsych.ac.uk. And then this is the home page, and if you click on mental health over here in the top right corner, you get this drop down, and then you can click on translations, and these are all the different languages it offers translations of their materials in. So again, they've got resources there covering some of the main topics around mental health awareness. So yeah, a really useful website, that one. Right, so now I'll move on to resources for those with learning disabilities. So 3 main websites I'm going to mention for this. One is easyhealth.org.uk, the second is Mencap, and the third is the NHS Library and Information Service. So easyhealth.org.uk, this is a really, really good website. Essentially, what it does is creates easy read documents for all the main health topics that you would want to discuss with somebody, and even some of the more niche topics. So it's free to use, but you do have to become a member. So you can see it says join now for free. And once you've signed up, you get access to all these leaflets and documents around a huge selection of topics. So the COVID ones are covered, but also are things like particular hospital appointments. So if they had to have a scan, it also includes things like self-care. There's a lot of different topics covered, and they've all been turned into Easy Read. So if you're not aware of what Easy Read is, it uses images and graphics to make language easier to understand for people with learning disabilities. So really, really useful resource. So that's easyhealth.org.uk. Okay, next is the Mencap website. So obviously the main charity to represent learning disabilities in the UK. And if you go to the home page and go to advice and support, there are 2 useful tabs. The first is the coronavirus one, take a look. And the second one is this one, health, over here. And if you click on the health one, you'll get to this page. So you can see it's got a couple of different resources on there. It's got resources aimed at people with learning disabilities, so you can see get support for your health and Easy Read, things like that, health guides, but it's also got information on there for parents and carers of people with learning disabilities, specifically around health and that learning disability. So yeah, quite a few different topics covered on that website. So that's Mencap website, mencap.org.uk. Okay, and then finally, on the subject of learning disabilities resources, is the library.nhs.uk website. So you can see it up here. And this is the NHS's main website for pulling together different resources. And if you go on that website and then click on coronavirus, you get to this. And what they've done is collated lots of different resources aimed at different audiences around coronavirus. Because this has been pulled together by the NHS, you know that the information on there is reliable and accurate, and you can trust it. So on the coronavirus resource page, you've got a few different options, but I'm going to talk about the accessible formats because that's the topic of today. And if you click on that, you get to this bit on the left. So you can see you've got coronavirus picture vocabulary, video-based information, and again, easy read formats for information around coronavirus. If you scroll down on that page, you get to this screen on the right, which I just wanted to highlight because it's got resources in audio format, Makaton, and British Sign Language. So that is going to be really helpful for anybody with an audio or a visual impairment, which I'm going to talk about next. But I just wanted to mention it whilst we were on talking about that website. So that's library.nhs.uk, and then just click on coronavirus and then accessible formats, and you get to this. Okay, and then that leads me on to resources for those with visual and hearing impairments. So the main websites I'm going to talk about here are the RNIB website, the Inform Scotland website that I mentioned earlier, and then also mentioning Somerset Libraries e-audio and ebooks offer. So RNIB website, this isn't so much offering resources, it's more offering advice. So this website gives you instructions basically on how to access resources if you have a visual impairment. So it's now compulsory for health agencies to provide an accessible way of people with visual impairments accessing their information. Hopefully that's been given to you already, but if it hasn't, this section of the RNIB website tells you how to get that information. So it gives you a letter template and advice about your rights. So that is on the RNIB website in their accessible health information section. Okay, and then back to the NHS Inform Scotland website, I wanted to highlight that as well as the British Sign Language options that I mentioned earlier that they also have audio options here, and again they've got easy read options. So 3 really valuable resources for making health information more accessible there, covering quite a few different topics, including coronavirus and non-coronavirus related stuff. So here you can see some of what they've got in British Sign Language. So covering some of the main illnesses, as well as advice around getting healthier. So that's the nhsinform.scot website. Okay, and then finally, I wanted to talk about Somerset Libraries ebooks and audiobooks, which can be helpful if you've got a visual or hearing impairment. So our audiobooks can be useful if you've got a visual impairment. If you're not aware of it, our audiobooks are free to download for e-audiobooks. And here I've just screenshotted some of our health and wellbeing related books that we've got up there at the moment. This is obviously just a small selection, but we cover a lot of different topics on there. So it's well worth checking out if audio is a more accessible way of accessing books for you. So that's our audio selection, and I'll come back in a minute as to how you can access that. But before I do, I just wanted to show our ebook selection. So again, we've got a lot of different health related topics covered here. So our ebooks are free to download again, and they can be helpful if you've got a visual impairment, because if you download it onto your e-reader, it can easily be increased, the text can easily be increased. So that's why I wanted to mention that, in case you have a visual impairment where that might be useful. So ebooks, like our e-audiobooks, are free to download. And we have a really wide variety of topics in the ebook selection on mental health and general health, and we've also got a children's mental health section. So obvious question next is, how do you access these resources? If you go to www.somersetreads.co.uk, you will get to this page. And this gives you a step-by-step guide as to how you can access our e-resources. So our e-audiobooks, our e-books, and also other things like our e-magazines and our comics and our e-newspapers. So that gives you a real step-by-step guide there. So I hope that's useful. Okay, that's everything I wanted to talk about on this video. If you would like to find out more information about what we do, we've got our website, somerset.gov.uk/libraries. We have a very active Facebook group, Somerset Libraries UK. We're on Twitter @SomersetLib and Instagram Somerset Libraries. Also, if you have a question about anything I've said today or that you need help, please do email us on libriesmail@somerset.gov.uk. I hope that's been useful. Please keep an eye out for other videos that we're doing for Health Information Week, because we've got a lot of really great topics covered. Okay, thanks.